Welcome back. April is Stress Awareness Month, which this year comes at a very stressful time for many Michiganders. According to a March 2025 survey by Wallet Hub, Michigan ranks number 24 in the most stressed states, and that was before all of the economic uncertainty. Joining us now here on First at 4 Focus to talk about the effect of stress on our body is Kelly Godinho, a health coach at Teladoc Health. And thank you so much for joining us, Kelly.
My pleasure.
Research shows that stress can trigger the body's fight or flight response, but chronic stress can also cause some negative health effects. Explain for us how stress can affect our physical health.
Absolutely. So, like you said, stress is a part of life, but what we're talking about here is chronic stress, where we're repeatedly exposing our bodies to this stress without giving ourselves enough of an avenue to really process that stress. And we'll talk about that in a minute, but that's when we get that increased risk of heart disease, obesity. It can even worsen chronic conditions that we already have, like diabetes, for example. And that's because stress does a combination of things to our body, including rising our cortisol levels or disrupting our sleep patterns, which then makes it really challenging for our body to regulate blood sugar, energy levels, and it slows down our metabolism. So it starts to wreak havoc on our bodies.
And Americans and people all over the world are stressing about so many things these days. What are some things we can do to minimize that stress and also its effect on our health?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is to prioritize your self-care. And I know that's easier said than done, but the idea here is whenever it's possible, make the choice to stick to a regular sleep routine or healthy eating or just making physical activity part of your day. It doesn't have to be exercise. It can be getting up and walking around your home or your office. And I think I heard something earlier about breathing, right? Practicing mindfulness, deep breathing. One of my favorites I like to remind people is practice saying no. Sometimes saying no allows us to avoid the stressors a little bit, whether that's establishing boundaries at work or even with our loved ones.
And Kelly, why would you say saying no is so hard? I often say no is a complete sentence. It doesn't need any explanation or anything, just no. So, but why is it so hard for people to say no?
You know, if we could find the answer to that, we'd have lots of money, wouldn't we? No, it's a practice, really. Everything is hard. Life is a challenge. And I think it's really about practicing things, right? So it's the same with the deep breathing or the meditation. All the time I get people saying, I can't meditate. But the problem is, it's just, you have a practice, right? We all have hard days when we're practicing something, and that's okay. The important part is you're trying.
So you are a health coach at Teladoc Health. Tell us how Teladoc Health, that service works.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
You are a health coach at Teladoc Health. And
how
does Teladoc Health, how does Teladoc Health work?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more, you can always go to teladochealth.com. But as a health coach, we're incorporated into our chronic condition programs. So, for example, if you join our weight management or hypertension program, you not only get a connected device like a scale or a blood pressure monitor to help track your conditions, but you get access to a lot of expert resources, both within our app and a one-on-one health coach. So you can schedule a time to speak one-on-one with an expert and really allow them to help you guide through your experience as you're designing your action plan to better your health.
And to eliminate your stress. Now, where can people here in mid-Michigan get more information about Teladoc Health if they want to access those services?
So the good news is 1 in 4 Americans do have access to our services. Like I said, I'd recommend definitely speaking with your employer or health plan or just starting with teladochealth.com.
That's teladochealth.com, correct?
Correct.
Kelly Godinho, health coach at Teladoc Health. Again, that website, teladochealth.com, if you'd like to know more about managing your stress. Kelly, thanks so much for being our guest today here on First at 4.
Thank you for having me.
Have a stress-free day.